Welcome back to another episode of your Digital Hustle News. As always, I'm Wade Teamer. Ladies and gentlemen, the fintech landscape has been shifted. As of this morning, the CEO for Twitter, Jack Dorsey, has made the announcement that he will be stepping down, ladies and gentlemen, to be replaced by Twitter CTO Parag Agrawal. Now, why is this significant? Well, he's stepping down to put more attention on his digital payments company known as Square, guys. Now, that is very significant for a number of reasons. Now, depending on how you feel about CEOs stepping down during the, time of a pandemic, that's a discussion for another video. However, what I'm focusing on when it comes to our particular focus of study, which is the blockchain industry, him stepping down from Twitter and deciding to go full time with his digital payments company, that is going to signify a turn in the tide, guys. But as of course, I also have more information for you guys, and we're also going to take a look at the price of Bitcoin to see how we're starting the week out. I've actually seen some very interesting setups, guys, some very interesting setups on the BTC chart that is going to indicate the type of week that we are going to have. But like I said, I wanted to start here, guys, and explain this to you. Simply put, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey is stepping down as chief of the social media company. Dorsey, who was 45, was serving as both the CEO of Twitter and Square, his digital payments company. Parag Agrawal, the company's chief technology officer, will take over the helm. So, guys, pretty much the story is that the reason why Jack Dorsey is stepping down from Twitter is that he can't take on two companies. That's the way to simplify this. He was serving as both CEO of Twitter and Square, and Dorsey will remain a member of the board until his term expires at the end of 2022. Meeting of stockholders, the company said Brett Taylor will become the new chairman of the board. So, what I find significant in this situation, guys, is the fact that how public Jack Dorsey was when it came to Twitter. Now, that same energy, that same essence is going to be centered around Square. Okay. Now, when we look at the other stories that I have for you, US banking regulators add some crypto clarity. This roadmap, and I posted this on Instagram, guys. So make sure you follow Digi Hustle News on Instagram. But this simply tells us that the banking regulator, the OCC, clarified its position on the stablecoin and crypto asset interpretive letters published while Brian Brooks was the acting head. Additionally, the Federal Reserve, OCC, and the FDIC have outlined a joint roadmap. Now, guys, what I find the most interesting in this roadmap is some of these things that they're looking to address. Most notably, it is the issuance and distribution of stablecoins. This is the information that they are going to be giving to banks and other financial institutions as we go into 2022, guys, including crypto assets, safekeeping, and traditional custody services. So we can expect a lot more banks to start allowing their customers to custody crypto, and also a lot more banks to facilitate lending and staking of these digital assets. So a lot of what we're seeing with our exchanges and different wallets, those features are now coming to banks, guys. Now, this also speaks about Circle as well as Visa getting involved in the picture as well. Now, the strength of this just simply comes from this list, guys. These are a list of things that we need to be very keen to look out for as we go into 2022. Now, on the other side of the globe, the European Union is setting up the landscape for a similar picture as they progress forward with a sandbox for blockchain-based tokenized securities, guys. Now, this is actually an interesting read because it gives us details that state that different third party, they refer to them as third party blockchains, are going to be, it's going to be encouraged that they participate with the EU. But last week, the European Parliament announced an agreement with the European Council on a pilot program to allow financial markets to use blockchain. There are still a couple significant steps before it gets to the official green light, including a parliamentary vote and the final approval will likely be March of 2022 at the earliest. But formally named the pilot regime on distributed ledger technology market infrastructures, it applies to the tokenization of conventional financial instruments such as stocks, bonds, and UCITS, a European version of mutual funds. Regulation of other crypto assets such as stablecoins and cryptocurrencies are also covered in the draft MiCA legislation. So, guys, really quick, we can see here. This is a very important sentence. This legislation put forth in the EU is essentially going to bring us one step closer to the age of tokenization of stocks, bonds, and the traditional financial markets, guys. That's what this is a reflection of. But it goes on to state that under the sandbox program, certain existing legal requirements are temporarily waived and subject to limits. For example, it can apply to stock issuance, ETFs, or UCITS up to 500 million euros or $565 million, bonds up to a billion euros, and corporate bonds up to 220 million euros, with the overall limit of 6 billion for any financial market infrastructure. To state that DLT can bring a number of potential benefits in the provisions of financial services, including reduced complexity, improved end-to-end processing speeds, and strengthened network resilience. So that's just clearly an understanding of how DLT can be applied, guys. But what I want to show you is this sentence here. This is very crucial. Now, it says the pilot program allows for different forms of settlement. While it's preferred that payment is made using central bank money, it will also allow settlement coins. And I like how they highlighted that. Settlement coins, defined as tokenized commercial bank money and e-money tokens or fiat-backed stable coins. Now, I'm really interested in what they mean by stable coins, settlement coins, excuse me. Of course, from my knowledge, what I know a settlement coin to be would be XRP, guys. So that is very big. And you can see now the landscape is being laid, guys, for this new digital payment era that we're going into. Now, when it comes to Bitcoin, guys, let's take a look at these charts here on the weekly. We are beginning the week right now, guys, and it's a little bit red. However, we have had a significant pump to get us to this point that we are now. Last week, we closed that wick that we see here, guys. That close brought us all the way down to about 53 and a half. We didn't necessarily touch the 50,000 like I was looking for, but if you go to the intraday time frames, the closest that we actually got was around 52, and that was, I suppose, close enough for, from a technical perspective, for Bitcoin to sustain a little bit of strength. Now, what I want to show you is on the hourly, guys, because this is a very interesting setup. I really have not seen this before. This looks like a legit triangle. Okay, guys, but you can see this is actually the type of setup we need. This is on the hourly right here, guys. And ever since midnight, we have been progressively pushing up, and then we see where we are now, and we kind of just settled and went straight. Now, you can see that same thing had happened before, guys, on the 26th, when we really, the 25th actually, on Thanksgiving, when we started to cascade down. We came down all the way to 53 5 53 and a half, and then we just went flat for the next few days, for about a week, guys. But we got a good kickstart Monday morning because apparently Mr. Michael Saylor himself and MicroStrategy have bought even more Bitcoin, totaling $404 million worth. So, of course, when Micro Saylor buys, then the rest of the market feels good, guys. And technicals are indicating something very positive is in the works for us. Okay, I can firmly say that that last dip that we had last week could be the final one for a little bit. Okay, at least for November, definitely. But as you can see on the 4 hourly, guys, we are, it looks like we're doing a an inverse pattern of what occurred from the 25th and led us into this week. So I am still positive on the markets, guys. In my opinion, I think what what we needed was to cool the engines down, and that's exactly what we did. Didn't come all the way back down to 50K, but you can still see there are supports, and the Bollinger Bands are keeping us in this channel, guys. Now, something else I did notice that was brand new is that when you go to the monthly now, okay, we go over to the monthly, guys. You see that top band there? Now it's at 86,000. Let me pull this up. Now it's at 86, guys. That's a lot closer to 100K than it was before. In previous weeks, we only had the extension up to about the 70s, maybe 77. But now I am seeing an extension up into the higher 80s, which means now we have more room to grow. And then another thing I want you guys to take a look at is this moving average. Okay. The monthly moving average is starting to resemble the weekly is starting to resemble the monthly. The daily is also starting to do the same, guys, as well as the 4 hourly charts. So it's really starting to look the other direction for Bitcoin, in my personal opinion, guys, especially on the weekly. Okay, you can see on the weekly now. See this wick, it gave us just enough of a pullback to get touch that support level of that moving average, and now we are starting to move the other way. So I had saw a similar setup on with Bitcoin, seeing this happen before, guys, and every time that it plays out, we end up going the right way. So there's a lot of speculation saying that we are going to repeat Q4 much like we did in 2020. That is what I'm hoping for, and the charts are suggesting that, guys. So I'm really looking forward to this week, guys. I hope you are too. Again, if you found value in this video, guys, of course, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe. Ring the notification bell so that you never miss an update. Of course, we still have the audience spotlight still going on, guys. Still taking submissions for that. As a matter of fact, I believe I have nailed down the first artist, so be on the lookout for that, guys. Also, don't forget to check out the university, and we're on Twitter and Instagram now. We're starting to permeate LinkedIn a little bit too, so if you're on LinkedIn, make sure you give us a follow on there. But with all that being said, though, guys, you know I'm going to tell you, have a great day, have a prosperous day. Most importantly, we making this money. I'll see y'all in the next one.
Took a look in the mirror, amazing, primed and ready to go and chase a little paper. I give all thanks in the world to me creator. Long as I stay strong, it's gonna make me greater. This what I came with, assembly was required, not a battery included. I needed power, didn't know that in myself wasn't tap power. Now I'm in at the mode.